All right, it's time for another garden tour, and I cannot believe how huge all of these sunflowers got. They got so big, and now they're hanging. They're all hanging. So let me show you. See, the bees pollinated and got the seeds all going, and now that flower is just getting too heavy. And looks like we've had visitors taking my seeds. But, and this one. I was out here last night and I actually was bending down here, and when I came up I slammed my head on this, and it really honestly was really heavy. It hurt. So that's kind of lame, but it's true. So one huge thing that I really enjoy about these mammoth sunflowers is all the leaves coming down on it is just so pretty and so fun. I did notice as I came out here that something knocked my corn over again. Now I know it wasn't the wind, so it must be either a neighborhood cat, a raccoon, or maybe a squirrel. I kind of think those would be too light. So that kind of stinks. It definitely doesn't make me happy, because I think I've lost, there's a good chance I've lost 10 corn stalks. Alright, so I did tell you guys to shake your tomato plants vigorously. And since I've been doing that, here on this big rainbow, which I really love the tomatoes on this. I really love the big rainbow flavor. If you look, I have this one, this one, this one, this one, and a couple others. And there's Jordan. Yee. There's my oldest. So because I've been shaking it literally daily, I'm now starting to get tomatoes on it, whereas before I wasn't getting any. It'd been months. I also have noticed that my potato plants are getting kind of a rusty leaf, and some of them are dying back. So I think we're getting close to time for the potato plants. Now, something fun here is my butternut squash. This is actually pretty heavy. I might look to put it in some kind of a sling or something here soon. And I found 2 other ones so far. So that's super exciting. Like I said in one of the last videos, I don't know how to cook them yet, but I'm excited to learn. Now, my pepper plants, they're getting pretty big. They're really taking off. And my sister told me that if you tickle the blossoms on your bell peppers, and I don't know if it's just bell peppers or all peppers, that you'll start getting bell peppers. And I have. Here's one. I don't know if you can see it. There's another one in there. And then there's a little one right there. I also have a whole ton of other peppers on these plants, Especially if you can see all this lighter green. This pepperoncini plant is packed, which is super exciting. Oh, I don't know if I showed you guys the trellises other than when I put them in. If I didn't, we put one here. You can see Jordan standing on the other side. And we have a plant just tickled my leg, it scared me. We have butternut squash growing up. We have cucumbers growing up. And this is our cantaloupe. And it looks like it's gonna grow right up it. And then over here, we planted, technically kinda. We put in another trellis, and while that side's not gonna get much going on it, maybe anything at all, we have our pole beans. So I'm super excited about that. The tomato plants are growing and giving me more tomatoes. My melon plants are getting super wild. And there was actually something I noticed. I noticed that my sugar baby watermelon wasn't really growing. Now, the plant did get stomped on a little bit. The very tip of it that had grown out, some of my kids accidentally stepped on it. And I think it killed the growth of the plant. And so it seems like a small plant. I am sure it's normally quite a bit bigger, but it's okay. But my Fonzy melon is wild. I mean, it's even over here. It is growing up the back side of that trellis, and it's blowing me away. We did take a Fonzy melon in and try it, but I wasn't sure if it was ripe yet. I couldn't see a tendril near it, which is usually what people say to check. If it's dried out, it's usually ready. But in my case, it wasn't all the way done, but it actually still tasted really good. But when we get a ripe one, I'll have to tell you guys how it is, because I don't know if people are having Fonzy melons. Now, these pole beans, I keep taking some of them off of there and getting them up here and going, because this is getting so packed and it's hard for me to dig through it all and see it all. So while I like the idea of the TP, I'm not sure that I like pole beans on the TP. But these green beans are taking off. Most everybody eats their green beans cooked, you know, boiled and whatever, but I actually also like them just off the plant. Now this squash area is getting huge, and my corn is really impressive. I think corn's one of my favorite plants. We also recently saw that one of our spaghetti squash was pollinated. My cantaloupe is finally taking off. There are quite a few blossoms on it, but we don't have one growing on there yet. It's still kind of young. I'm hoping that it lasts through the fall and we get some late melons, because that would be really exciting. I also hope that these plants grow up this trellis. I don't know if they have enough time, but if they do, it'd be really exciting to see the trellis filled with greenery. But that's it for today's garden tour. I have multiple cucumbers I need to pick, and we've not had a shortage of those, so I'm excited about that. And I'm really excited about how big and luscious my garden has been getting. And I hope that it keeps getting that way. I know it's about to get a little cooler in weather, but hopefully it still keeps growing. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.